I was a child, I imagined the day that I could say that I.
Hey everybody. Hey Carolyn. Hey Trish. Hey Nicole. Hey sweetie.
Also knew that on that day,
baby,
my life would be forever changed, but for the better. I want you
Trish says, hey.
You. Hey Trish.
Hey
Carolyn.
Carolyn.
Hey Carolyn. Oh yeah. You are the one that I've been waiting for. You are the one.
Hey TJ. Tachano. Hey John. What's up, Snooki?
Hey James. Hey Stefan.
Hey Stefan.
What's up, John? J Love. Now I realize that I am the luckiest person alive.
Come on, y'all. Let's dance a little bit.
And it's all because of you.
It's like a 90s
And your
groove.
unwavering love that you show to me daily. And I'm so glad that I met you and you met me, and we will be together for a lifetime.
Sing,
But
boo.
Chris, I want you to know, yeah, that you make me laugh. Look, laugh right here. You make me smile. You make me feel so good inside.
Hey everybody, welcome to Thursday Love.
What's the B in, eh?
Yes, you are
I've
hearing
been waiting on my. What's that
an
song?
original song
I wrote it for Sherry,
written
man.
by TJ.
It's original. There ain't gonna be nowhere else.
Yeah.
You are the one, baby.
Hey
You are the
Letitia.
one, baby. You are the one that I.
God bless you, Pastor Hassani.
Yes. You are the one, baby. You are the one.
All right.
Stop.
Welcome everybody to Thursday Love. I hope y'all enjoyed that song. It was an original written by TJ that he wrote for me. I think it was for our anniversary.
It's one of them days.
It's one of
There's plenty
them.
of them I wrote.
Yes. So, how are y'all doing? How are y'all doing? Come on, where the hearts, where the likes at? How
Norma.
y'all doing?
Anthony.
How you doing, Norma?
Thanks,
Anthony? It's
Carolyn.
so good that everybody has joined into Thursday Love. This is our third broadcast. We are rolling. We are thanking God for all the love and the support that we are receiving from everybody. It is truly a pleasure, and I'm just grateful. I hope y'all are enjoying this. We are enjoying this.
Yes.
So we're going to get right on into it on today. We're going to have to get right into it on today. Hey, Norms. And so as y'all know, the flyer stated tolerance versus acceptance. Tolerance versus acceptance. And so, like I said before, we're just going to give you something that we experienced. And so it's better, to me, it's better relatable if you experienced it. And so hopefully it will help on tonight. So we're going to start with tolerate. To tolerate, the definition of tolerate. Tolerate is to allow the existence, occurrence, or practice of something without interference. Once again, the definition for tolerate is to allow the existence or the occurrence or the practice of something without interference. In other words, it's something that one does not necessarily like or agree with. So basically, I just put up with you. Something I allow to happen even though I per se do not accept it or agree with it. And so we're just going to talk about that tonight. I'm going to talk about tolerate. I'm gonna talk about tolerance.
We're gonna talk about tolerance.
I'm gonna talk about tolerance. So I have a little couple of things that I had to that I was learning to tolerate, and I'm learning to work through them.
Don't believe us.
I'm learning to work through them.
I'm perfect.
So, quote says, you can tolerate something without accepting it, but you cannot accept something without tolerating it. And so tonight we're really going to dig in that. For this 30-minute session, we're going to talk about tolerance and acceptance. Okay. So, the thing is, when you start out in a relationship, it don't necessarily have to be boyfriend, girlfriend. It could be a friendship. But when you start out in a relationship or a friendship, in the beginning of it's all magical because you just met this person. It's great. You're having fun. You like this person. You know, this butterfly stomach stage. Everything is cute.
It's gas. Keep going. Love gas. That's what we'll call it. Keep going.
It's nice and sweet. So basically everything he did. So basically I'm going to talk about me. So basically everything he did was cute. Even though some things I normally wouldn't put up with, some things I normally wouldn't agree with, I didn't care because at that time I'm falling for someone, I'm liking someone is liking me. This is new and I am enjoying it. So, but the whole time while I'm enjoying this and liking him, I'm ignoring the little things that I per se would not like. So it's like, for instance, I'll take for example, like when we first got together, I always told TJ, well, before I told TJ, I always told myself, and then I told TJ, I would never marry a musician. I would never date a musician, marry a musician, whatever, because God didn't bless me with the gift of music. He didn't bless me with the gift of me. I'm tone deaf.
Yes, he did. She ain't tone deaf.
Yes, I am. Yeah.
No, she's not.
For those who are following us, know the truth. They know the truth. But music is just not my thing. I mean, I love to hear songs, but just music is not my thing. Somebody gonna say somebody off, I'm like, well, they sound good to me. But anyway, so being with him, by him being a musician, and he's constantly listening to music, and he's constantly playing music, and he's doing stuff with music, well, I got irritated with it. I got tired of listening to it, because, okay, we heard, yeah, I'm tone deaf, Trish. So yeah,
Meek, she wrong, and you, Trish.
So yeah, no, Meek said I'm not, but
Trish tone deaf. But we gotta talk to people about this.
Okay, so, but I got tired of listening to music because music was all the time. It was in the car, in the radio. But then when we got to where we would sit down, he's either tapping because a beat is in his head. He tapping, and then if not, he snapping. Or if not, he humming. I'm not humming. And so it was always music. It was always music. And it irritated me. And so I tolerated because I had to start realizing this was part of him. And that's the thing about certain things. You never know what that person may have in that relationship, because when it's the beginning of the relationship, you just loving everything about them. Everything looks good.
Because I'm lovable.
Yes. But then as time goes on and this relationship starts to get serious, you find yourself noticing things that you claimed that weren't there, but really they were there the whole time. You just now realizing, because you done got comfortable now, that newness, that butterfly season kind of done died down a little bit. So, you get to see for real now. And so the things, just for example, let's see. I'm not telling everything, but I'm going to tell one more thing about him. One thing that I learned to tolerate, I tolerated with TJ, is that my husband loves to tickle me. I'm being very transparent. My husband likes to tickle, which is aggravating. And that's a thing. Don't start. So, he likes to play. He's a big kid. He likes to play. And I know it. Exactly.
Laughter is good for the soul.
He tickles, he plays, he catch you off guard. I'm swinging, ready to hit him. Nerves toe up. But, in the beginning, it was like kind of cute. Like, all right, yeah. But like as we kind of got into the relationship, I kind of got irritated. I'm tired of this. I don't want to do this anymore. Will you stop? So, the thing is, I've learned to tolerate this, which means I don't fully accept it or embrace it, but I put up with it. You know, I allow it to happen because I've learned that it makes him happy. See, the thing is about tolerating somebody, your person could be lazy. Your person could be, they never can get nowhere on time. They have a problem with punctuality. You know, they may be disorganized. Whatever your little pet peeve is, it could be totally opposite of you. And so you find yourself either irritated or upset because, see, that's the thing about tolerance. You know, you just allowing it for a moment. You're allowing it for a season. So it's kind of temporary. And so if the thing about tolerance, it will have you cause you to bring yourself out of character. Because if it's something that's like a pet peeve to you or something that's totally opposite of your nature, then you'll find yourself irritable. You'll find yourself upset. You'll find yourself angry. You'll find yourself mad. You know, you'll find yourself getting upset with this person. You find yourself looking at this person as like bad or whatever. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with the person. That's just that person being them. That's your partner or your boo just being them. They probably been disorganized since birth. They probably been lazy since they were 5. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, it irritates you. But what we do is we try to go change it. You know, since I don't like it, I'm going to go try to change him. I'm going to try to do some things, put him in order, and try to change him. But that's not how it works. You know, if that's who they are and that's what's made them most of their lives, you know what I'm saying, you have to learn to allow them to be them. Just like they allow you to be you. You know, you allow them to be them. So if they're disorganized, you find a way to help them organize it. You know, you help them, you know, try to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Instead of looking at them like with a magnifying glass. Because, you know, what I can honestly say is, you know, at one moment, I got so focused on TJ's negative, or in my case, it was a negative. It really wasn't his negative. In my thought pattern, it was a negative. I was so focused on his negative that I started looking at him in a bad way. And before I knew, I was judging him. And then I started thinking negative. And that's not good. Because that only brings separation in a relationship. Because before you know it, you find yourself snapping. Or you find yourself getting smart. Or you find yourself, you know, having an argument. And you don't even know where the argument came from. So, you know what I'm saying? So, when you have someone in your relationship. And there's certain things about them that is totally opposite of you. You learn to tolerate it. That means you endure it. Because the root of tolerate, or the history of the word, is to endure or to allow. So you try to endure the process, you allow it, and you find a way to function with it because that's that person. You try not to change them. Now, I ain't talking about no bad habits. I'm not talking about everything. Like just tolerating, they cussing at you. Now, they don't supposed to be cussing and disrespecting. We ain't talking about stuff like that. But we just talking about simple things that pretty much that made them. Like I was a neat freak when TJ found me. He was more of a, let me lay my clothes here. Let me lay a sock here. Let me lay some here. Candy paper all over the place. And candy paper all over the place. And I'm constantly picking it up. And I'm like, you can't just pick up the paper behind yourself. So, you know, those are the things that I learned to tolerate. But also, those are the things that I've learned to not get so irritated about. Because it's him. It's part of him. And he, you know, I can't make him change, but if he chooses to change, hey. But, you know, yeah, this is the thing that, but I know there's some things about me that, you know, he tends to tolerate too as well. You know, the things about this, you have to learn to be patient. You have to learn that we all make mistakes and we all are raised up differently. Our environment is different. You know, we come from different paths, and you got to find a way to make it work. So, you know, the thing is, he has done music all his life. He was raised he was in the womb hearing it, and now he does it. And as you heard from that great song from the beginning, which he has many more, you know, it's him. And so I've learned not only to tolerate it, but now I've learned to accept it. And now that's where he comes in. He's talking about acceptance, because I'm talking all that now.
So when we talk about acceptance, so as Sherry was saying earlier about how, you know, how she was a neat freak, and technically she still is, but also a part of the acceptance is as a spouse, you when your wife or your husband is when they're saying certain things that they don't like or they don't agree with, as a spouse, you have to accept the fact, okay, if I'm with this man, I'm with this woman, that there's certain, she mentioned about, about trying to change. But if you really do love your spouse, now I'm not talking about, she's trying to make you this person that you're totally not.
Right.
But if she's trying to help you, or he's trying to help you improve to be a better woman or a better man,
right,
you have to accept the fact that in order to be better, you have to do better. For instance, she was talking about me. She didn't tell the improvement, but she talked about me in the candy paper and, throwing my clothes all over the place. I had to accept the fact that, look, I'm married to this woman, and she's telling me constantly, okay, I don't like the fact of you, throwing your paper all over the place. I don't like the fact of you throwing your clothes all over the place. I had to say, you know what? She's telling me these things because to her, it's an issue. Now, no, it's not a big, huge issue, but it's an issue.
But it's an issue.
So even though you might not think that that's a major thing, but I had to accept the fact that she don't like these things. So you know what? So from now on, when I love her, but when I, take my can out of my paper, you know what? Find the trash can. Put the paper in the trash can. Okay, you took your clothes off. Are they dirty? If they're dirty, put them in the hamper. You know what I'm saying? If they need to be washed, wash them.
Right.
Those things like that helps improve the marriage because it makes you a cleaner person. It makes the house smell better because, nobody don't like no nasty stinking socks or stinking shoes all over the place. But it also makes your spouse happy because it says that, you know what? I accept the fact they like these things. These things or these improvements in my life makes them happy. Therefore, let me try it because if she's happy or he's happy, that means you're going to be happier within the marriage.
Right.
Because it's all about improving the marriage. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's going to be things that he says that are good that you may not like in the beginning. But you have to accept the fact that they're right. One thing we don't like being is wrong.
Especially women.
Well, especially men. We don't like being wrong. We don't like being told wrong. We're wrong. We don't like being told we're wrong.
He can't hear and say a thing.
Who can't?
Nick.
Nick, you can't?
Oh, hey.
Hey, Nick.
Nikki, I'm sorry.
Uh-oh. Go to Sherry's page. Go to Sherry's page. You'll be able to see it better.
Yeah.
But as I was saying,
what happens when one spouse is the one with all the complaints?
Ooh.
Good question, John. Good question. The question is, what if one of the spouses is the only spouse with all the complaints? If you have one spouse that just has all the complaints, what are the complaints?
That's the first question.
What are the complaints? Well, I mean, because if the one spouse is always complaining about any and everything, then we need to find out we need to get to the root of the problem. Because honestly, the complaints could be coming from something that spouse is dealing with, or honestly, because you honestly are doing something wrong.
And not only that, but if that's the case, you got to figure out.
Thank you, Pastor Lee.
You have to figure out who's in that spouse's ear, because that's why it's so important as a married couple to. If you're going to talk about your issues, you talk about it probably more likely with your pastor or whatever, or with the counselor. But you don't share your issues with outside people because everybody's not happy that you are married. But that's what I'm saying. It depends on who's in that spouse's ear, because that could be possibly a reason why that spouse got so many complaints about you.
That could be a possibility. That could be a possibility. But honestly, you have to get to the root of the issue. Like literally, sit your spouse down. Like, babe, can we sit down and talk for a minute? Okay. So what are the things that you don't like that I do? Okay, let's go through each of them. Now, what is it about this that bothers you? Where does it come from? And then so just in case, the thing is, you know what? You don't pick up your clothes. Well, okay, baby, I don't pick up my clothes. Okay, so what I'll do from here on out, I'll try to pick up my clothes. But if I promise to pick up my clothes, can you promise not to always be on my back? You know what I'm saying? Because see, what we can do is go overboard. Like because that means. Like I said, that means they just tolerate you. That's what tolerance is. I just tolerate you because I'm always complaining. I'm always irritable because what you do irritates me. So I'm just tolerating you for this moment. I'm tolerating you while I'm going through whatever I'm going through. So, you know what I'm saying? The thing is, that means that they need to find out what's the issue. do you even like it, literally, you might have to get to the point, do you even like me? Because this is who I am. I got some issues. I like to leave my clothes everywhere. I've been doing this ever since I was 2. You know, some habits are hard to change. You know, but you know, then we have to try to work at it one at a time. And then so it got to be like a compromise. If I start picking up my clothes, can you promise not to be on my back so much? Can you promise to talk to me a little better? And what I mean is, well, baby, you know, instead of saying you left your clothes all over the place, you know, why don't you say, well, baby. Why don't you just help me pick one of the pieces up? Or, you know, well, baby, I got this for you. Don't worry about it. We can do this together. Like, it has to be some type of compromise. You have to sit and talk these things out. You have to get to the root of the issue. If one of the spouses are doing all the complaining, you got to find out what's the problem.
And that's when the communication, that's why communication is so key.
Right, Meech, pick your battles.
Pick your battles, too. Right. That's what, hey, Apostle Mitchell.
Mitchell.
That's why communication is so important.
Yeah.
I mean, communication is a two-way thing. Meaning, you know, if you're talking to your spouse, you have to have an open mind. You can't go in with an attitude.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got to be willing to take a critique. Meaning, like I said, things that your spouse, you know, things that they don't like. You have to be able to hear the things that they don't like. You guys discuss those things and discuss how you can improve them so that your marriage can become better. Hey, I'm Mama Daisy.
So when you're talking, that means talking to someone. That means I'm talking to you, not at you.
Right.
Conversation. The conversation, communication is real key. But we say that all the time. But how do you communicate? That means my tone is correct. That means I've lowered myself. It's humble. It's soft. I want to talk to you, not at you. Not only that, your ears are sharpened. That means I hear everything you're saying. So we take turns talking. We don't over talk each other. You know what I'm saying? If I have something to say, then you look me in the eye. Now I love for people to look me in my eyes when they're talking. That means I have your full undivided attention. So when we're having a conversation, I'm looking him dead in his eyes. That means I hear everything he is saying, and I'm taking it all in. I'm comprehending it. I'm understanding it and everything. So when it's my turn to talk, then I can come back with the correct response. But you got anything else you want to say on this? Because we kind of
quick thing for everybody who shared. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, keep sharing and keep inviting other folks. We love it.
I forgot what I was about to say.
Well, just go into what you were talking about with acceptance.
Well, we talk about. Oh, I know what I was going to say. It's not what you say, but it's how you say it.
Right.
Now, for some people, no matter what you say, no matter how you say it, they're not going to receive it.
Sarah.
But it's all about how you say what you're trying to say. Because especially the women, women has a. Well, let me speak for this woman. She has a way to get to my heart. I know this. Most people say you cook them some food and then get to the heart. No, she has a way. She has a method, and it works, of how to get me to understand or to listen to. She brings it to me in such an humble way. You know what I'm saying? So the way she brings it to me to the point where I can't turn her down. Even if I'm angry, the way she comes to me, it allows my anger to humble itself and pretty much leave. And so the way she brings it to me so that I can understand, and so that automatically I'm ready to listen. So like it's not what you say, but it's how you say it. And we're still talking about acceptance. So acceptance is agreement with or belief in an idea or opinion or explanation. Once again, acceptance is agreement with or belief in an idea, opinion, or explanation. So as we've been talking about tolerance. So agreement with a belief. Belief is she believes that me being nasty is not a good thing. Her opinion is she believes that me being nasty is not a good thing. Her explanation is me being nasty is not a good thing. So I have to, like I said, I had to accept the fact, because this is past. I had to accept the fact that my way of living or how I used to live by myself was not to her approval. I'm not saying that she runs everything, but as I said earlier, the whole goal and the whole job is to make your spouse happy. That's it. Yes, you have to be happy too. You have to be happy also. But
John, please don't throw no hands.
No throwing hands. You will be in jail throwing hands at the altar. But little things like that. So, and you also, acceptance also says the willingness to tolerate a difficult or unpleasant situation.
Yes.
All right? So when we talk about tolerance and acceptance, one of the major things that you have to be because this woman had to have plenty with me, you have to have patience. Patience is a virtue, says the word of God.
Yes,
Patience is a virtue. Now, she's talking about, my cleanliness and stuff like that.
And we're not just bragging on him. We're not just...
No,
it's not all about him.
I'm about to get her.
Yeah,
Because
about to get me.
one of the issues that I have, another issue that I have is being on time. All right? So that's another pet peeve of hers. Punctuality. But what I had to get her to see was that I was actually trying. That's another thing about tolerance. And the spouse has to be able to see the improvement that the spouse is making.
Right.
So if there's a certain thing that she doesn't like, and I'm attempting to improve myself, slowly but surely, she has to pretty much celebrate. That's what I mean. She has to celebrate my improvement.
Right. Because if you're just tolerating him, you're not celebrating him. If I'm just tolerating him, I don't see that he's growing. If I'm just tolerating, I don't see that he's improving. So that's what I'm saying. Tolerant is just blind. You're just blind in judgment because all you see is what you want at that time and how it's done.
So she has to accept the fact that I am trying to improve.
Yes.
And I've got much better. Sometimes I beat her out the door.
Yes, you do.
Sometimes I beat her to the door. Sometimes
it's a woman thing.
I just try to get to the door. And we talk about acceptance, and since we're talking about, let's switch a little bit. Okay. Even for the individual, you have to accept also.
Hey, Cassandra.
You have to accept your decisions, and some of the people you have to accept who she was talking about me being clean and so forth, me being punctual. You have to accept the fact that the spouse that you married, that they have issues.
Yes.
Meaning being on time and being cleanly. So those are the things, and not only do you have to accept it, but you also, as a spouse, you have to come up with creative ways to help them improve.
And that's what becoming one is. The key word is becoming one. So that means it's a ever-growing...
It's a joint effort.
Yeah, it's a joint effort. It's always a growing process. It's a learning process. And sometimes I think, like I said earlier, when we're in the beginning of the process of the relationship, it's all new, it's all lovey-dovey. You know what I'm saying? We just think that person's perfect. They just perfect.
So this is what I'm saying. Yes, Mike meets flaw. This is what I'm saying. I blame her for me being junky. Yes, and I'm going to tell you why. Because it says when you know better, you do better.
Hey,
so,
Miss Becky.
So to me, my clothes being all over the place was normal. Because that was the only thing that I knew.
Right.
So if she knew better and she didn't tell me how to be better, I blame her.
Oh, wow.
Now, that ain't the case in all cases, but I say I blame her.
Wow.
But once she told me...
Can I get some wows up there?
Once she told me that I needed to improve,
yes,
then I had to go through the process and start changing my ways. So you can't, just because you have an issue, you can't stay that way.
Yes.
Right? You gotta change. You gotta change your ways.
Yes, Pastor Lee. Becoming one is a lifelong process. It is a continual process. You are certainly right.
And another thing about accepting. So we also have to accept that, like I said, our spouses have flaws.
Right.
And not only do our spouses have flaws, but we are also flawed.
Right.
Because a lot of times when we start talking about acceptance and tolerance, as a spouse, you're always pointing the finger at your spouse. You're always pointing fingers at your spouse, saying you need to do X, Y, and you need to do X, Y. But you also, when you're pointing, the beam and the plank, when you pointing the finger to somebody else, there's a finger always pointing back at you because you also need to improve. He or she may not just have called out your flaws; they may be accepting or tolerating, the issues that the inconsistency that you have.
Right.
So we have 2 minutes left, and we're gonna try not to go over like we did last week. Next week we will not have Thursday Love. We will not have Thursday Love due to Holy Convocation that's coming up. But what we're going to do is all throughout the week we're going to have small snippets of Thursday Loves.
Okay, so Holy Convocation, for those that are in church, y'all know it's just an annual big gathering where we come and celebrate God and Jesus and fellowship. And so throughout the whole week, we're going to have different Facebook Lives throughout the week of Thursday Love couples, some singles. We're gonna do Q&A, questions to different types of people for different types of things. So get ready. You never know when Thursday Love is going to come on next week. We're just going to come on all different times, all of it. But we're not going to be on our regular broadcast of Thursday Love at 9 o'clock on Thursday nights because we'll be in service. So, but this is pretty much what we're talking about with tolerance and acceptance. Yes, Meech, we're getting to the homework. We're getting there. I hope y'all learned something on tonight about tolerance and acceptance. You know, tolerance means I just deal with you for that moment. There's a bigger situation, but there's only one part of the situation I really just don't care too much for, and I'm just not going to deal with it, so I don't put up with it. Then, you have acceptance. That means I agree with all of you, your flaws, your mistakes, the good things, the bad things about you, everything.
I agree with them, but I'm helping you to improve, to become better.
Right. And so, I found a quote. It says, tolerance just puts up with it, secretly wanting it to be different. So tolerance puts up with something secretly wanting to be doing. So that's like a lie or something that's hidden within your spouse or your friend, and they're not telling you nothing. It's like a selfish game they're not telling you about. Acceptance allows it to be what it is and does not secretly wish for it to be any different. Once again, acceptance allows it to be what it is and does not wish for it to be any different. So that means I openly accept you for all that you are, and that I am here to help you make it better or grow with you. I accept you, all of you. I accept all of me. So, tolerance basically runs out. Tolerance is temporary.
Right.
So, those friends in your life that only tolerated you, they only last for a season. They only went out.
Away. My words stand forever.
And acceptance, it remains. Acceptance remains. It stands with you through everything. No matter what, come hell or high water, it is there. So, on this week, we got some homework. We're going to follow up through our page.
So, let's read it real quick. So, this can go for both married and single. It says for day one, one of the challenges. Yes, it's a 7-day marriage challenge, or it's a 7-day challenge. 7-day challenge. So we'll put it on the website so you can go back and look. And what we want to do is, when we give the challenge, we want you to go through the challenge, and we want you to post your results on our Thursday Love page.
Yeah.
Please go to the Thursday Love page. And that's with Thursday Love with TJ and Sherry. Yeah. Go to it and post your results. So day one will be go the entire day without correcting your spouse. Yeah, go a whole day without correcting your spouse.
Pastor Lee, you signing off? Homework, laugh out loud. All right. If you don't have a spouse, you single, go a whole day without correcting
anybody.
That's someone that's real close to you. That could be like a family member. I mean, go a whole day without correcting them.
Day two, do not use sarcasm to your spouse for the entire day. So those who are single,
Meech, you too.
Those who are single,
Meech,
don't use sarcasm the entire day to anybody.
Anybody.
Child, dog, cat, mouse. No sarcasm. Day three. This is for single and married. Exercise together, whether it's walking, running. Drink at least 24 ounces of water. So if you're single, still try exercising for that day. Drink 24 ounces of water.
Rebecca might say, oh my. If you single, find your best friend, y'all go work out.
Yeah. Or
yes,
walk
you
with
can,
Jesus.
Meech. Yes, you can, Meech.
Day 4. Oh, wow.
Day 4.
Turn off all gadgets, electronics, phones, tablets. Sit and write down your goals and your plans. And if you're married, discuss them with your spouse. If you're single, just write down your plans and goals and discuss them.
If not, just turn off the gadgets. Because see, what we do in today's time, I've noticed with a lot of couples, whether it be elderly or young, they sitting right beside each other with their phones. Like literally, do you take 30 minutes out of your day and not touch your phone?
Just breathe.
You know what I'm saying? Just honestly breathe and relax. Just try that. Somebody said pray for BB. I mean, Trish said pray for BB.
I will.
So turn off all gadgets. At least try for at least 30 minutes. 30 minutes.
Day 5, no arguing. It's a day of laughter. We call it the play day.
Play day.
Play day.
Play day.
See,
Stop.
play day.
Play
So
day.
if you're single, still no arguing. You just gonna laugh. Me, come on, you fail. Come on now. It's a play day.
She said I felt all exercises and
So
gadgets.
day 6, we call it the pamper day. So husbands, you might not like this, but but the wives will. So day 6. Oh Lord.
Oh,
Sorry.
no.
Day 6.
We went away.
We got you. Day 6 is we call it pamper day. Pull it up. There we go. We call it pamper day. So husbands, this is a hard job. Husbands,
All right.
for that day, we saw that. For husbands, you're gonna wash your wife's feet like they did in the old days. You're gonna wash your wife's feet and you're gonna massage her. You're pampering her. So wives, you're going to give your husband the back massage. For those who are single, go to the spa, get a pedicure, manicure, so forth and so on. But it's a pamper day. Day 7.
Day 7.
Day 7. You can read day 7.
Day 7 is your spiritual moment. Is where you and your partner, your spouse, if you're single, get with your best friend, or just you do it by yourself. This is the spiritual time where you just take 30 minutes out of your day. Y'all get a scripture together and you sit and discuss the scripture. What is God, revealing to you about that scripture, and you talk it out. It could be a scripture. You can pray, you can read, you can study. You know what I'm saying?
It could be about your marriage.
It could be about
or
marriage.
just things that you personally need to get together, get in line with
something
God.
spiritually that you need to get together in line with God, and that's something that always works when two are together and works it out. So we're gonna repost all the assignments on our pages, and we're gonna follow up each day. And we encourage you to go to Thursday Love Facebook page and post how you're doing. We still want comments. We still want your questions, concerns, your testimonies, how you liking the page, just share it to all that you know, because we're really trying to go out there and reach those young married couples who are still trying to find each other, the singles who have a desire to be married, and they're just trying to get themselves right, so they can be married, because they're really questions. What if you're not saved? Okay? You can still get with a friend and find out and talk to Jesus and pray. You don't know who they praying to, but you might pray to Jesus to them and let them pray whoever they want to pray to.
Right. Hey, Mama Daisy, we love you. And yes, Jamie, we're going to send reminders on. We'll do it on the Thursday Love page, and we'll share it to each one of our pages so you can see it. So it'll. Thank you, Pastor Hassani, for tuning in.
Pastor Hassani, you did tune in.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I enjoyed your show too because I watched it.
Oh, yes.
I did.
So with that being said, we thank everybody for taking the time out of your busy schedule at such a late hour to join us for another edition of Thursday Love. And once again, we won't be here next Thursday due to the fact that we're going to have a wonderful time, a holy convocation. It's going to be work, but it's going to be work well worth it. We're going to enjoy God and everything. And if you don't have anything to do,
if you're in the Raleigh-Durham area, come on out. Our Apostle Dr. James Lemuel Spence and First Lady Suzette Spence of Word Empowerment Church, which is We Church. This is our holy convocation. He's the chief of us. So Word Harvest International Fellowship of Churches, walking in kingdom evolution. Yes.
Right.
It's going to be June the 20th through the 25th at Faith Assembly Christian Church, 3120 Fayetteville Road, Durham, North Carolina. Great speakers lined up, workshops, vendors, day sessions. It's going to be an awesome time in God. And so throughout all those days and those times, we're going to be interviewing couples, and we're going to be interviewing single people, and we're going to be questioning them. We're going to get in their thoughts and see what they're thinking and tell us how they view relationships in today's society.
June 19th at We Church, Word Empowerment, we're going to have family prayer.
Yes.
So that starts off convocation. So we must, no matter what we do, whether you're single or whether you are married, you must stay into the face of God. You must pray. Prayer is where God's going to give you the answer to really be able to know your wife, or to know your husband, or to know yourself,
and help you accept those things you don't like.
And tolerate the things that you don't like.
No, we don't want to tolerate because we don't want to get upset. We want to learn to accept it, embrace it.
Yeah, what she said.
We don't want to tolerate it.
Accept.
We don't want to tolerate it.
So, once again, we thank everybody for joining.
Yes.
We hope to see you guys in 2 weeks.
Yes.
In the midst of that, work on the challenges.
Work on the
and
challenges.
Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful
Oh,
night.
before we get off, I know we got to go, but before we get off, on this Sunday, we are celebrating 12 years
12 years
of wedding bliss.
Yes.
It is our 12-year wedding anniversary.
Do you know what today is? It's on the 18th.
Yes,
It's
so
our
come on,
anniversary.
family, give us some love. We'll be celebrating 12 years of
12 years.
marital bliss.
12 years of acceptance.
Yes.
And we're-
We've been together for 18 years dating, 12 years married.
Right.
It's my birth anniversary.
It's also her birthday.
It's my
on the 18th.
birthday, and it is Father's Day. So happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
Don't give us no socks, y'all. We got enough of those. No socks and no ties. We got enough of those too. Hallelujah. We want the same. Matter of fact, we want better gifts like you would give the
Thank you,
Mother's
Mama.
Day.
Thank you, Apostle.
Thank you, Apostle. So we
All
thank
right.
everybody
We
for
love
joining us.
everybody.
You guys have a great night and
Happy Father's Day.
yes, thank you so much. So you guys have a great night. We thank you.
All right.
Good night.
Love y'all.